Hello, 8th graders. We are doing Module 4 problem set for Lesson 16. This has to do with finding slope from 2 points. Remember that slope equals our rise over our run. To find rise over run when it comes to points, we're going to find our change, our delta, and our y coordinates over the change in our x coordinates. Delta y over delta x, delta meaning change. So each of these, they're going to want us to find the slope from 2 different sets of points. So let's start with number 1. Let's pick this point and this point. Okay. So the coordinates for this point are -10, 30. -10, 30. And for this point, they are 0, 20. So first we got to find our change in y. Remember, our change in y are y numbers. So I'm going to go 30 minus 20. And then we need to find the change in our x numbers, delta x. And those would be -10 and 0. So -10 minus 0. Notice I used a 30 first for a delta y, so I have to use the -10 first for a delta x. If you're used to these first, then you'd have to use these second both times. They have to be in the same order. So now let's figure out what our slope is. 30 minus 20 is 10. -10 minus 0 is -10. 10 divided by -10 is -1. So we have a slope of -1 with those 2 points. Let's find 2 more points. How about we do this point and this point? Here are coordinates 30, -10. And here our points are 40, -20. To find our change in our y, which will give us our rise, we use our y coordinates, -10 minus the -20. Over, and to find the change in our x coordinates, we're going to go 30 minus 40. Okay, so -10 minus the -20, remember, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So we now have -10 plus 20, -10 plus 20. So we're going to start at -10 and we're going to go up 20. So that's going to give us to a +10. And here we have 30, take away 40. If I start at 30 and I go down 40, I'm going to end up at -10. And we're going to get a slope of 10 divided by -10 is -1. Notice both times we got the same slope. Let's go into problem number 2. Once again, they want us to do this twice. So let's pick 2 points. Remember, we want our points to be at intersections. We don't want to pick this point because we don't know if this is 3 or 4 for our y coordinate. We don't know if it's -3 or -4 for our x coordinate. Okay, we want to pick a point where we know exactly what the coordinates are. So we want them with what I call an intersection. So this one is going to be -6, 4. This one is going to be -2, 3. And we're going to find this. So to find our delta y, we have to take our y coordinates, 4 minus 3. And we're going to put that over our change in our x, which is negative 6 minus a negative 2. Four minus 3 is 1. And negative 6 minus negative 2. So subtract negative 2, we got to add 2, right? So negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. So our answer would be a slope of negative 1/4, because 1 divided by negative 4 is a negative 1/4. Let's find 2 more points to do this with. So use this one and this one, because they're at intersections. So we have 2, 2 here, and we have 6, 1. To find our change in y, which would be our rise, we take our y coordinates, 2 minus 1. We're going to do that over our change in x. So that would be 2 minus 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. So we're going to get the slope of a negative 1/4. Notice we got the same slope both times. Let's go on to number 3. Once again, using 2 different pairs of points. So we're going to pick this point, and they only have 3, so one of them we're going to have to use in both problems. Okay, so this one here is going to be 6, 5, and this one is going to be 5, 1. Okay. So let's find our change in y. 5 minus 1, which is 4. Let's find our change in x. 6 minus 5, which is 1. So our slope is going to be a positive 4. 4 divided by 1 is 4. Let's do, okay, let's find the point of this one. We have 4, negative 3. So let's do this point and this point. Let's do our delta y's. Change in our y's would be 1 minus a negative 3. And for our change in our x's, our run, we would get 5 minus 4. Notice if I use the 1 first, then I got to use the 5 first. If I'm going to use this first for my x, I got to use this coordinate first for my y's. So now let's do this. 1 minus a negative 3. 1 minus a negative 3. Well, to subtract a negative, we add, so we're going to get 4. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So once again, we're going to get 4 as our slope. This line that has the slope of 4 no matter what point you pick. Let's go to number 4. Once again, they want us to find 2 different pairs of points. So let's start with, that's at an intersection and that's at an intersection. So this would be 2, 7. And this one would be 3, 5. So our delta x, our delta y, our change in our y's, would be 7 minus 5, which is 2. That's all going to go over change in our x, which is 2 minus 3, 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So we now have 2 divided by a negative 1, which is going to be a negative 2. So we have a slope of negative 2, and this is negative, isn't it? It's going downward, so we know it's right because it's negative. Let's find 2 more. Let's take this one and this one. Coordinate points for this are 4, 3. And for this, we have 5, 1. So let's find the change in our y's. 3 minus 1 over change in our x's, 4 minus 5. 3 minus 1 is going to be 2. 4 minus 5 is going to be negative 1. 2 divided by negative 1, once again, we get the same slope of negative 2. Do you notice? No matter what points we pick on a line to use for slope, we come up with the same slope because slope is consistent throughout a line. Throughout a line, slope is consistent, so it's not going to matter which 2 points you pick. Let's go to number 5. They want us to use 2 different pairs of points to find our slope. I am going to pick this point and this point, both at intersections. So I have negative 4, 3, and this is 1, 2. To find my change in my y's, I'm going to go 3 subtract 2. I forgot these. To find the change in my x, I'm going to go negative 4 minus 1. 3 subtract 2 is 1. Negative 4 take away 1 is negative 5. So I have a slope of a negative 1/5. If you want to look at it, remember how we did it yesterday? Rise over 1, we go down 1, negative 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4 over 5. It is a negative 1/5. Let's find 2 more points. Let's find this point and this point. And what do you think the slope's going to be? Something tells me it's going to be a negative 1/5. In fact, if it's not a negative 1/5, that's going to tell me I made a mistake. But let's check. We have this coordinate as being 6, 1, and this coordinate being 11, 0. So to find our change in y's, we go 1 minus 0. To find our change in x's, we go 6 minus 11. 1 minus 0 is 1. 6 minus 11 is negative 5. And 1 divided by negative 5 is going to give us a negative 1/5 slope, and we did it correctly because we came up the same as this and also the same as how we would have did it yesterday. Let's go on to 6. And number 6 is the same thing. And let's do these 2 points. I got do 4 points all at once. Okay, so this point is going to be negative 7, negative 4. This point is going to be negative 5, negative 2. So let's do this. change in our y's, be -2 minus a -4. Remember, to subtract a negative, we have to add the positive. So -2 plus 4 would be a +2. This is going to go over our change in our x, which would be -5 minus a -7. Once again, to subtract a negative, we add a positive. And that's going to give us a hold on. 5, -2, 7. This should be -5. I'm so sorry. I knew there was something wrong. -5, so we're going to subtract -5 here, which is the same as adding 5, so this is going to be 3. We all make mistakes, right? And -5 plus 7 is going to be 2, so our slope is going to be 3/2. How did I know I made a mistake? Because I was looking at it and doing it how we did it yesterday. Our rise is 1, 2, 3/2. So as we were calculating this, I realized that this should be 3/2. So I had to figure out where my mistake was, and I realized it was here. So our slope is 3/2. What do you think our slope would be between these 2 points? That's right, 3/2. Okay. Number 7, we're not going to do the second one for number 6 because we kind of know what it would be. For number 7, this one they want us to calculate the slope and line in the graph. Are they telling us to use 2 points? No, we don't have to use the 2 points because I think we understand now, no matter what 2 points you get, you're going to get the same slope. So let's pick 2 points on this graph. Remember, they have to be at intersections, so that's a good one. And this is a good one. These are at intersections. So this is a -4, -2. And this is a 2, 2. So we're going to start by finding our change in our y, our delta y. So -2 minus 2. That's going to give me a -2 minus 2 is going to give me a -4. And we're going to put that over change in x. So that's going to be a -4/2. So subtract 2. -4 subtract 2, which would be a -6. -4 divided by, so this is negative divided by a negative is a positive, right? So we're going to have a +4/6, which can be reduced if we divide both by 2 to a +2/3. So let's check this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep, that's 2/3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, that's 2/3. Notice I kind of skipped that one in the middle, didn't I? But I still came up with the answer of 2/3. We're going to skip 8 and 9 and go on to number 10. 8 and 9 is just review of what we've been doing. This time, everything we said, they've been non-vertical lines. Let's try the slope of a vertical line. So let's pick 2 points. I'm going to pick this one and this one. So this point here is 2, 1. And this point is 2, 2. So let's find the change in our y's. 2 minus 1 equals 1. let's find the change in our x. Should be 2 minus 2, which would be 0. Oh, so we get 1 over 0. Can we do this? No. This is undefined. Anytime you have a vertical line, or I'm sorry, anytime you have a vertical line, your slopes can be undefined. Okay? Have a good day.